I have no idea where I'm going to go in this. I'm just speaking, I'm just talking. So, where I find myself here in my 37 years of life, I find myself in this kind of existential crisis where I know as a person that we all have a time limit here. I know that I have a time limit on this earth. I have things in my life. I have mental, physical issues that I never really planned on having, but that's what life dealt me. Life dealt me these things, and I didn't ask for them. Um, it's all a part of the absurdity of existence. And in that absurdity, there are times where you feel a little bit better than other times, and things are going well. Things are going a little better than other times. And then something creeps in to remind you that this is not going to last, that take it in now while you can. And there are better days and there are worse days, and there are times where I don't even want to go through some of these days, but then sometimes I go, well, I still have something that I want to live for. And it's so back and forth with me that it's hard to put into perspective in videos sometimes. And if it's not exciting for me, then I don't really want to do anything that isn't exciting. And this is something that some guy said. It's not happiness, it's excitement that we're looking for. Nobody is happy here. Like the word happy, that doesn't exist. We're not looking for happy, we're looking for excitement. We're looking for things, we're looking for enjoyable things. We're looking for something to keep us busy. We're looking for something to distract us. Or we do the opposite of that. See, I've already did all this stuff in my life. I've already, when I was younger, I lived my life almost to the fullest when I was younger, but there was some things I didn't do that I really wanted to do that I still do want to do, but yet it's such a weird and awkward thing because I find myself being plagued by this absurdism, but it's not, it's when I say absurdism, it's not a plague though. It's just reality. Reality is absurd. It's good and bad. It's up and down. It's you're joyful, then you're depressed, and then it's just this back and forth conundrum going on all the time. But when you're just willing to get so honest with yourself, and then you see how the world is kind of faking a lot of things, it's like I can't relate anymore. I can't relate to anybody, like hardly at all. I have, and it is nothing against anybody when I say this, but I have nothing in common with everybody. The only thing I have in common is with myself. That's it. The only thing I have in common is with myself. And if I'm being absolutely honest, I don't really like anybody but myself. And sometimes I don't even want to play that game. I don't even want to play that game. I'm just saying, when I say having things in common, that in and of itself is many topics to explain. I can't sit here and explain in a video what I mean. Do I care for my family? Yes, I care for them, but we have nothing in common. There's no common ground there. All the things they do is not what I do. And if I sit here and I go, well, let's make some retribution here in our lives and let's get together again and make things right, it's not going to work, because the way that they do things and the way that other people do things, it's not the way I do things anymore. And I'll tell you what, that is both depressing, and it allows me to do what I want to do, but at the same time I go, well, where are individuals like myself that I can do anything with? Because I don't I've been looking for it for years and years and years. I've been looking for someone out in oblivion that. And see, this is where there's a disconnect. Here's where there's a complete disconnect. And it doesn't matter what people say to me. It doesn't matter if they say, well, I'm a lot like you, and I do the same things. Well, it's like, are you doing those things though? You see, like, I've been looking for years for someone that is similar to me when I'm here doing what I do, or the way that I think about things and the way I do things. And it's just the truth. I haven't found hardly anybody that does. There's very few people, but they only do. And I'm talking about people that were here and gone, like George Carlin, Charles Bukowski, Osho, that actually did these things. You see what I'm saying? And but it's pieces of those people. It's not the whole entire thing. You see what I'm saying? And this is why I almost got to this point in my life where I say to myself, I have to, if anything is going to happen here, if anything is going to go the way I want it to go while I'm in this world, I'm going to have to make my own thing. I'm going to have to do my own thing, and I'm going to have to get people that resonate with my energy to come to me. That's what I'm going to have to do, because I don't see me going to anybody. I just don't see it. I don't see me going to anybody. I don't see me gravitating towards anybody out here. I don't see me, and I know this sounds a certain way to the other person. See, the other person will say, oh, well, you're telling me that I'm not worth anything. And well, that's for you out there to tell yourself, what are you doing in your life? I mean, what if you just sit around all day eating potato chips and you're just sitting there doing nothing? Then what do you have to offer in this life? I mean, yes, I am somebody that, see, this is what is so hard for other people, I think, to other understand what I mean when I say this. If I have nothing to offer at all, then what am I attributing? What am I worth? What am I doing? I'm nothing but a meat sack just sitting there, and I'm speaking for myself. I'm nothing but a meat sack sitting here eating shit all day long and going to the bathroom, shitting, wiping my ass, pissing, and that's life. That's my life. And even though all of this is absurd, yes, all of this is absurd. It's all absurd. but I'm still looking for something to live for. I'm still looking for things to do that not a lot of other people do, just to do it because the crowd is doing it. See, this has become like a cyst on my metaphorical soul. Is anytime I see people just getting together because it's a crowd of people, I despise it because I know that it's not real. It's not something genuine. It's not something unique. And that pisses me off. I want people to be together because they're actually into something. They actually want to do something that they're doing. It isn't just, oh, there's a crowd over there, so I have to go and fit into that crowd because I'm lonely. So I have to, I don't, it doesn't matter what they're doing. It doesn't matter if they're, now I know this sounds extreme, but it doesn't matter if, say, we're in a war situation where it's this side versus that side. And I'm this lonely guy over here, and I see 100 people over there with one of the enemy, and they're over there chopping fingers off. Oh, I'm just going to go over there because that's my people torturing these other people. So I'm just going to go over there and I'm going to start chopping fingers off because everybody else is chopping fingers off. I'm just going to do what they're doing because they're doing it. This is how I see most of the world, and it disgusts me. It disgusts me to my core. And I know there's other people out there that think similarly, but they're not me. They still don't think like I do. And look, at this point, I honestly don't care if people see me as narcissistic, as whatever. I don't really care anymore because I'm already to the point of absurdism, just existential dread. I'm going to be here for some time, and reality is always here. There's no running from it. So why not just go head first into the shit? Why not just make something of it while we're here? But I say to myself, who's doing that? It's just the ball of normality. It's just the ball of normality that I see every day. And I'm just somebody, I just can't stand the monotony of repetitious normality, even though I'm a part of it. You see what I'm saying? Even though I know I feel like a hypocrite myself because I am a part of these things. I am a part of what I'm talking about. And there's kind of no way to escape that. I don't know. Maybe I'm just tired of the same things. Maybe I'm just tired of hearing the same conversations. I'm tired of just, right when you go and you look up something, it's everybody copying everybody. You go and like I don't even listen to the music today. I don't even listen to music today because every time that I would click on the music, it's junk. It's garbage to me. It's just people emulating other people. It's everybody attempting to sound like the next man. It's everybody attempting to be like this guy or that guy. And I feel like I am literally on a planet of my own right now. That's how I feel. And if there's people that don't support me for that, then you can't support me at all as a person. If you can't take me as I am, then that means that you can't take yourself how you are. If you can't take me how I am, because that's the way I feel. That's the way I feel. And it's not an insult to anybody. It's not downing anybody. It's not trying to hurt anybody. It's not trying to get anybody depressed or have somebody get into some of the things that I've gotten into, because I don't want to see that for other people, honestly. I really, really don't. But I think sometimes, in order to get to how I see things, you've got to go through the storms. You've got to go through suffering. You got to go through pain. You got to go through misery. You got to go through some existential thing to get to how I think. But then again, I say, okay, even if that does happen, it's still absurd. It's still absurdity. And I'm still here. And my next move is I just woke up. So I took my medication. Before that, I was absolutely miserable. I didn't even want to wake up. I didn't even want to get up. So now I took some of my medication. Now I'm feeling a little bit like, go, get going, Nate. Get grab a cup of coffee and turn on the computer and watch YouTube and wait to go to work tomorrow. It's like, that's what it is. That's life, and for a while there, and I still am. But the thing is, the monotony of it is just what gets to me. The repetition and the monotony. Like, I'm thankful that I have a cup of coffee to drink. I'm thankful that I have a bed. I'm thankful that I have a car. I'm thankful that I got food. I'm grateful and I'm thankful, but sometimes it's still absurd. It's just, I say to myself, well, where is this going? Where am I going and doing? And I don't mean to do this as a depressive message, like to get people down and out. That's not why I'm doing this video. This is another thing that when people hear this, that are still conditioned to be a certain way. They're still programmed to think a certain way by things that they grew up with, or what their family or friends or school or the world or quote society and all this stuff. It doesn't get through. I don't think that it gets through, and that's just how I feel again. But then again, I'm back to the whole absurdity of it. It's like, I'm still here and it's still now. And it's like, okay, well, now what? Like, it's always this now what thing. Okay, we're feeling down and out. Okay, so now what? Okay, I'm not feeling so great right now. Okay, well, now what? Okay, I just woke up and I'm miserable, so now what? All right, we're just sitting here twiddling our thumbs, doing nothing. Now what? It's always this now what thing. If we're in a predicament in life that we don't like, okay, now what? What are we doing about things? See, nobody's doing anything. Nobody's really making anything happen. But when they do make things happen, this is just how I see it. It's just people trying to emulate other people. It's people so desperately trying to fit in somewhere that they know deep down that that's not really them. That's not really how they feel or what they're going through or what's happening in their life. And there's very few people in this world, let's just be honest, there's very few people that you see that are loose cannons that just do what they want to do no matter what everybody else is doing. They call their music something weird, or they get criticized for being something that nobody else is. Like, I have these songs that I did over here. One's called Larry Pendermith, and one's called Harry Snuffin Snuffin or something. I don't know, something weird. It's just a name that came to my head, and I put that down just because. I didn't sit there and think, oh, what should I name this for people? Oh, well, what are they gonna think? Hold on, what should I name it? Should I name this something? Would they like this if I named it this or that? See, this is how I think, this is how I know most of the world thinks. There's very few people that can just go off of right then and there how they feel. That can just say it how it is right in the moment. That can be what they're thinking right then and there. And I'm not saying I'm not attributing this to violence where people get killed or where people ultimately get injured and hurt. I'm not talking about them kind of thoughts or thinking. I'm just talking about spontaneous things that come that are really that person, that are really them. All I see is this thing where people are, they're going by kind of a script. They're going by a set way of how they think others are going to judge them, how others are going to perceive them. And they never do what is just happening in the moment, like I'm doing in this video right now. I just pressed record and started talking. I didn't set this up. I didn't try to make it happen. I mean, I didn't try to make it anything. I didn't try to sound any kind of way. I didn't say, oh, what people do I have to make this for? Do I have to make it for them over here, or do I have to make it for them over here? And see, and then when I see that it's just over time that the people that were resonating with something before are not resonating with it now, then I know that they kind of went back to a lot of the old things, like the ways that I was just talking about. Like, oh, I gotta go try to fit in somewhere. I have to get back to doing what I was doing before. And see, all we're doing is we're trying to go back in the past when we do that. We're attempting to be what we were before, and that's not life. Life is a continual letting go and changing process. And even for me, as I'm saying this to people on camera, even for me, sometimes I go, I want to go back to all the old ways. I want to go back to when I was a kid, to when Super Nintendo first came out. I want to go back to the basketball days when I actually enjoyed doing that, and I went to the basketball games, and we were there, and the crowd was crazy, and the guys were dunking on the team, and it was, that nostalgia. You want to kind of go back to that, but we can't go back to that. It's impossible to go back to that. So, what are we doing now to create some kind of something like that? Even if we can, I don't even know if people can anymore. The day and age we're in, I don't even know. But it's almost like lately I have kind of, I haven't lost it all together, but I kind of lost another piece of me when things happen in your life, you kind of lose a piece of you that you never get back. And you know what? It's almost like, okay, well, why do I want to get it back? I, I I'm I'm telling myself, look, move on from it. Let it go. It's the past. It's over. There is absolutely nothing. There is absolutely nothing that I can do to bring back things that once were. I can't bring back people that died. I can't save anybody here. There is no such thing as saving anybody. It's It's for a time, it's absurd, it's find exciting things, don't look to be happy, find exciting things in your life while you still can. Because we're all going to get old. We're all, when you see that person walking down the road with crutches or a cane or in a wheelchair, sooner or later that's going to be all of us, and we're going to have to come to this realization whether we like it or not. And I've already came to this realization. I'm just not older yet. I'm just not an old person yet, but I'm old up here. I've already went through all this. I've already foreseen, and like I said, I'm not doing this. I know this might be a very uncomfortable video, but it's not made to be uncomfortable. It's an honest video. It's something I would rather tell you the truth. I'd rather tell you what I know than to lie to you. I would rather say it how it really is than to play games and to wiggle around it and act like it's something that it's not. I just don't want to do that. I don't want to do that on this platform. And I know more than likely when you're not making it like, and you're making it something to make people think that, you know, everything is going to be all right. Like the whole thing is just going to go completely fine. That's not reality. But I do want to tell people it's going to be okay for now. If you're somebody that is whatever's happening, okay, you're going to be okay for now. But that doesn't necessarily mean later on that it's going to be like that. And see, this is the hardest part. This is the hardest part for me to express to myself and on camera, because I think this is the point where people shut down and people say, you know what, enough is enough. I don't want to hear anymore. And I don't even want to hear it. I don't even want to hear it. I don't even want to think about it. I don't even want to know about it, but I do. I do. And this is what I mean by my own existential dread, by my own existential crisis, where I keep thinking about one day I will die, and I'm gonna die one day. See, this is where I hesitate to get into, because I know it's gonna turn into a gloomy video. It's gonna turn into a kind of depressing video. It's gonna turn into a video where I don't know if I even want to put this out to people anymore. I don't even know if I want to talk about these things. So that's why I hesitate to do it. Sometimes I just say to myself, is this really a place to do this? You know what I mean? Like, is this really a place to do this? Is this really the outlet or the place to talk about these kinds of things for myself? Because sometimes I say, maybe it's not. Maybe it's not the place to talk about certain things. But then when I got to keep those things in, when I got to keep them to myself, then that's when things start getting very bad for me. That's when I start allowing these things to creep up on me, and it turns into something else. And it's so easy for that to happen. It's so easy for that to happen with me. And I don't know. I'm really I'm really hoping that this is just a phase that I'm going through, and it will somehow lift and I won't think about this as much. But I don't know, maybe it won't. And then if it doesn't, I'm going to have to I'm going to have to find ways to deal with this. I'm going to have to cuz you see me on this camera and what you're seeing is not what's really going on up here. You're just seeing my face and seeing me and stuff, and so you can't you don't know what's going on in other people's heads. You look at them and you say, "Oh, well, they don't look bad, you know. You look fine to me." That's the lie. That's the perception there. That's the trick there. That's the thing that gets put up with people. Like I said, people that commit suicide, people that do a lot of stuff they do. You see them the day before and they're smiling and they look like they're happy. See, this is the thing there. This is the perception that most of us are fooled by. This is another thing that I'm speaking of, but it's so hard for the average person to see this. It's so hard for someone that has not been there or went through it or goes through it or knows about it or seen other people go through it, because I've been through the whole thing. I know the whole thing. I've seen it, I've lived it, I've done it, I went through it. And it's some days I say, I wish it wasn't there at all. I wish it would just completely go. But if I could have it my way, I just wish a little bit of it would stay. Just a little bit so that I can remember what not to do again. But all the rest of it, it could go, because there's no reason to have it anymore. Because I've already went through it thousands of times. So what's the reason of keep having it there, over and over and over again? And I'm basically in a position in my life where I'm not doing everything that I want to do how I want to do it. I got to do some things that are opposite of that, and that's what's bothering me too. So it's that time. It's that time right now. And see, this is another thing. This is the side of people that people don't want to talk about. And I don't even want to talk about it. They don't want to put out this side of them. They don't want to talk about this side of them. And that's all that I am. If I'm hoping for anything, I'm just hoping that this is some kind of phase that I can look back on and go, oh, yeah, I went through that. And I don't really have that anymore. I've moved on and this is happening now. That's what I'm hoping for it. But like I said, I don't put an expectation to my hope. I'm just hoping that this is some kind of phase or something, but I don't know. I don't know. I can't call it. I really can't. So anyway, I'm going to stop the video there. I'm losing train of thought here. So take care of yourselves. Yet again, that's all you can do is take care of you. I don't know. Do whatever you do. It's your life and you're going to live it. I can't live anybody's life. I can't save anybody. I can't really do anything but speak what I speak and do what I do at this point. I won't even say that I can help people, because I can't do that either. I can just be honest with myself. And I think that's what it's all about with each person, is each person being honest with themselves. And I think that we would have a lot better of a world if we were really honest with ourselves. But I don't know, maybe we wouldn't. Maybe we wouldn't have a better world if everybody was completely honest. I don't know. I really don't know. I'm just in an I don't know phase. An absurd I don't know phase right now. So take care. Later.